Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I got to do some modifications to this month's, not for the month, sheath pouch setup. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to do this, but if you have been following along on Instagram, you've seen kind of the progression of this over the past few days. If you're not following on Instagram, feel free to do that, as well as subscribe here to my YouTube channel. And thanks for everybody that already supports me. I appreciate it. But what we have is this month's Knife of the Month, which is the Tops L Pionero. Let me talk about this before I get too excited. So I was trying to, there was two bolts with like a aluminum barrel that was threaded that held this back on. And I said, well, I can pull it out and cut one top edge off of the barrel, just enough to put the paracord through there, and then I can assemble it and I'll have a lanyard on there. Well, my trusty old grinder grabbed that thing and slung it somewhere out in the yard. So that was gone. And from past experiences, hardware is normally the downfall to lots of stuff. So if I have something that loses some hardware or hardware gets loose, that is primarily what causes it to fall apart. So I did the same. I did this wrap with a Boker knife a while back, the Micro Tracker with Dave Wenger. It's hard. It had flared tubes, and then they started getting loose, but I just wrapped it really tight with jute and then soaked it with clear Gorilla Glue. And I also like it. It gives me a good idea of where the knife is in my hand. I like that too. But anyway, that's what happened to that. I didn't just take the bolt out and throw it away. It's somewhere, and maybe I'll find it, or maybe I'll see if Tops can bring me one to Blade Show, and I can see if my modification I originally wanted to do will work. The sheath, I've done the same thing with this sheath as I've done my other ones. I used the included hardware, just had a metal clip on it. I took that out and just made a leather loop so I could carry it more hanging from the belt than clipped to the belt. It was wanting to open, so if it was heavy, how can I explain it? At a certain weight, it wanted to ride with the blade sticking, or with like this. It was on my belt, but it stuck out like that. The heavier it is now, it rides more up and down, but I just put some goon tape on that and took away its ability to open and close here. And that helped a lot with it flopping like that too. But the pouch is just like a $12 multi-tool or mag pouch, just like single stack magazine. And you might could put some double stacks in here. I put that PMR 30 in here, and it still had plenty of room. But I put me a piece of inner tube on the sheath itself and ran the buckle through, and I poked a hole down here and put one zip tie. I wonder why this thing don't want to focus on here. Come on, bruh. But I got one zip tie on it, and what I'm going to do in just a minute is I'm going to eliminate that. I'm going to put another zip tie just straight through the back here. And to do that, I'll go over my gizmos that I got in there. I'm starting to load it out. But to put the things in there, I am going to take a finishing nail and a pair of vice grips. Put that dude in there like me. Then I'm going to take a bottle torch Hear it? And I'm gonna I'm gonna heat this nail up until it's good and hot. And then I'm gonna use it to poke my holes in the side of the pouch. That way nothing really unravels. It's more of just a melted hole. You have to make that sound or it doesn't stick right. And there you go. God. It smells like shat. But it just gives you a crispier hole in there that doesn't unravel as much. And I just got it as close to the back as I can. Dude, did that zip tie just friggin' fly out of my hands? Sure did. Son of a bitch. Sorry, didn't mean to curse there. Let's see, how do I get this guy in here? Whoa, that actually poked a hole behind the Velcro on that side. Tell me I get that lucky and it's all the way through. I'm sorry, this is... See, it's trying to come out right here. I need it to come out right there. And it's just not loving me right now. Be nice if I don't have to do it again. But it's not gonna let me, apparently. I'm gonna have to do it one more time, which is fine. Do this and then not have to worry about it getting floppy in the future. I'll try to do it the same way and get behind that Velcro. Sorry, I like to get things right the first time, but sometimes it just doesn't. Let's see. Let's see if that got deep enough that time. Bam! Perfecto. Cool. So now, and actually I could cut that clip off the back of this if I just want it to live on there. And I think I'm going to. You guys can do whatever you guys want to, but I think I want it off. It just will help it to lay better against the sheath. But now I'll just go behind it and poke this through here like that. And just went back behind there. Poke this dude in here. I'll just get it kind of in line with the side of the sheath. And then I'm going to cut this at a 45-degree angle so it scratches me every time I try to move. But I'll go through and make sure that dude's not sharp. Bam, much tighter. That's where I cut the damn tag off of it. Sasser, you hollering at me? Cool, that really tightened it up. And this, I'm going to say any multi-tool or any small pouch that says it's for a multi-tool or a magazine will fit this size. It's roughly, oh look, I'm using my fancy measuring tape, measuring box. Flattened out, it's about 2 inches wide and approximately 5.5 inches. So 2 inches wide, 5.5 inches long. But it'll square up more when you start packing stuff in it. But that is a good size for the sheath if you guys are looking for a pouch to put on the front of it. And I just went with this one just because it looked good. Like it had a pretty cool little Velcro hickey on there. I'm bad about putting stuff that kind of hangs out the top sometimes, so I thought that would be helpful. But content-wise, I'm not going crazy or crazier than normal. So this was the main piece that I've been working on, but I added 3 fire plugs. So this is, if I wad it up, roughly this diameter is what fits down half of the pouch. So this is pretty close to being the diameter of half the pouch. This takes up the other side. And this is just an awl. I could even go smaller on a lot of this stuff, but I don't have to downsize because this is stuff that I could use all the time. Not as much as an emergency situation. So fat wood, a piece of bicycle inner tube, a 5/16 ferro rod with a little lanyard on it. Normally I have a ferro rod loop on my sheath, but this one does not, so I just went with the 5/16. A Wazoo hardware pack, so it's got 3 weights, 3 hooks, 2 safety pins, and a needle in there. I may go back and poke another needle in there, but I slide this right down in here like that. I still have more room here. I could put something. Then I just move this over to the side and put this all down in there. Like I said, that goes in here on halves. And I could go smaller with stuff. I could get a little bitty ferro rod or use a ferro rod toggle. But if I did that, I would just increase the size of my fat wood that I had in there. Or I would use a ferro rod toggle and then maybe slide these guys. But see, that's something that I can do right now with that extra space. I'd still like to have more than just Sasser, quit hollering. But I can take this one and put, hang on. It's hard to hold and stuff at the same time. That's what she said. But I can put these into this. And yes, I know it's hard to get in there, but I wouldn't take it out unless I, just wanted to use it. So that's not a big deal on how hard it would be to get in or get out. I wouldn't take this in and out multiple times a day most of the time. But I could use, it doesn't stick out too much further than it would have initially. A little bit, but not that much. And I could save room for these then. I could probably jive it around and get it in a different spot probably. But I'll save this for maybe a rim grit jigsaw blade or something like that. I just have to find my rim grit blades, and then I'm going to put one in there. But I'll get that And I'll put these guys back in their little plastic bag. And the other reason that I did the plastic bag with 3 of them in it. Butcher, what are you eating, bub? Butch, that's fatwood. Butch! I was eating fatwood. So the reason that I did like this is I can poke it down in here. And when it gets to the bottom here, it's basically like a plug. I wish my phone would focus better. But this plug, come on phone, I guess I'm gonna have to take my YouTube money and buy me a good camera, huh? That's what I need to do. Y'all better start watching videos so I can afford a new camera. I'm kidding. But I went with a bobbin, and there's a video on this. I just have, sometimes I have 35, sometimes I have 15. I think this is 15 braid on there, fishing line. I'll just poke that dude down in there. And that gives me, I still have about the equivalent of a big lighter that I could fit down in there. And if I get this other stuff lined out, I actually may put a big lighter down in there just to have one. But that's the start of the items that I'm going to have in this kit. Just basic fire stuff, or if we're goofing around at Georgia Bushcraft and somebody's like, hey, let's go catch a fish or catch a frog or whatever, I got fishing stuff in here that we can make that happen right then. Most cases anyway. But yeah, that's the start of the sheath kit for my El Pionero. Alright y'all, I appreciate it. I'll work on trying to get this thing to focus. Maybe it's just I'm in a bad spot or something. I'm not a very good videographer anyway. But I appreciate the support. Like I said, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll keep trying to give you guys better videos. And we'll work on getting that new camera one of these days. Alright, have a good weekend. Later.